You remember that I had told you that this election will send a lot of people to jail. A lot of people will go to jail, including Mundubile. Remember I told you? Now, follow what is happening. Follow what I want to tell you now. Everything that I've told you is accurate. I don't guess. I don't go by corner. Anything that I tell you, take it like that. Before this election, I told you that we won, and I told you how we won. Now, my disappointment is on Brian Mundubile. My great disappointment is on Brian Mundubile. HH contested the election in Zambia, and he lost 5 good times. I was in Zambia. I participated in an election twice where HH won the election. When President Michael Sata died, immediately the President Michael Sata died, I was already an inner caucus member in the PF before Sata died. That's why I was given the privilege to be one of the people that would supply oil to the nation of Zambia. So we already knew everything about the PF. Now, we were there when Sata won, when Sata died. The election that was conducted that brought in Edgar Lungu was won by HH. Right in my house in Ibex, that is where most of the figures were changed. After that election, in 2016, I think 2016 or 2015, if I'm accurate with date, forgive me for that, because there is a lot of things that is on this head. But the second coming in of Edgar Lungu, HH won. I participated in changing the figures. Honorable Giving Lubinda is alive. He was in my house. Honorable Chisenga, Mr. Chisenga, the ambassador, Zambian ambassador to China, he is alive. He's alive. He was in my house. My dear brother, Honorable Mao Sampa, is alive. He was in my house. That election for President HH, the figures, it was rigged heavily in my home, at my home in Ibex. And you know what? After all these losses, you will never hear HH sending people to the street. You will never hear HH speaking words that would incite the citizens. You will never hear HH say or do anything that will bring trouble into the house. HH will always say, because we had already put police in place to see if he can make remark that will ignite the nation. HH will always tell his supporters, please, calm down. Don't take to the street. Our time will come. Please, this is a man that lost election 5 good times. He was not in a haste to take over power. He was willing to wait for God's own time. Because when it is God's own time, everything will favor you. Rigging will not work. Nothing will work. All those times we managed to rig HH election, it's because God, it was not his time. When it was his time, devil entered Edgar Lungu and had me deported. When God wants to remove a sitting president, he makes decisions that will destroy him. He makes decisions not looking back. Now, this is different from what Mundubile is doing. Mundubile just came into the scene a few months ago. A few months ago, before the election, he came into the scene and he has done well. A nice and a wise person would just be happy with what he has achieved and build from there. What is he doing? Before the election, they brought in criminals, militias. Remember that Edgar Lungu was involved in terrorism. I hope you have not forgotten about that, right? Sorry. I hope you have not forgotten about that. You remember he was involved in terrorism. Now, Edgar Lungu is dead. His family are still in touch with those terrorists. more than 2 years before this election, they brought in terrorists into Zambia, and they were training people. One of their leaders was sent, some of their leaders were sent to Australia. Be connecting the dots. Just be connecting the dots. He was sent to Russia. Sorry. They were sent to Russia to go and be trained, not by military actually, but by a Malaysian group in Russia. And they were trained for more than a year. And they were coming back for this election, be following it. But whatever they were doing, we were aware. The intelligence was in Zambia, police is so sharp. Mr. Siandenge. Mr. Siandenge is not an ordinary human being. That one, you can never play football behind him. They are very sharp. They picked all the intels and they didn't tell anybody. They didn't even bother them. They allowed them to continue. Now, this was the plan, or this has been their plan. While they were returning from Australia, the intelligence picked them, and the gadgets that we have found with them is unbelievable. Just wait after the election. You will know that God saved the people of Zambia from the mouth of the lion. They were so convinced that they have already won the election using all these tactics they brought in. That is why you see Tarsila Lungu that ran away from Zambia after many years. That's why you see her coming back. Because the Malaysians were already in Zambia, hacking ECZ system, ready to kill. They had people, you see, as I speak now, the borders are filled up with people. This is how they are running away. A lot of PF members, including Mundubile. Yesterday, Mundubile collapsed. And when I gave the information, people said, it's a lie, it's a lie. No, he collapsed. And as I speak to you right now, I just pray for his safety. Because he has a lot of questions to answer. He has a lot of questions to answer. Prison will be full immediately after this election. Okay. That's why you saw Makebi Zulu making press briefing for the first time. You saw Mundubile not appearing anywhere because he's not in good health. I pray for his quick recovery. Now, these people brought in these Malaysians. What was their plan? What was their target? See what happened. Their plan is that immediately after the election, while people have casted their vote, they will organize themselves in all the PF strongholds. There were more than 10,000 groups, people that were trained. In every polling station and the PF stronghold, especially in Chingola, we are coming. Those people, those commanders they used, your time is up. Chingola, you will know God. Now, all these Malaysians and criminals they trained. Immediately, election was done. They ran in and overpowered ECZ polling officials and took ballot boxes. In Zambia, they overpowered the police. Took ballot boxes. In Matero they did. In Mandevu they did. In Chingola, all the whole copper belt they did. And started changing figures. While they were changing figures, their hackers were in a house where the army raided, and they were transmitting fake figures into the ECZ servers. That's why you saw Mundubile immediately came in and said they have won, because they had already done and calculated their move, and it was accurate. Are you following where we are going? Those people that were arrested with guns, they were arrested with army uniform, there were so many things, including a bishop in Catholic. This let this election finish, things will happen. Fire will fall. The boys that they trained had already collected ballot boxes. ECZ was confused. That was what made ECZ to stop announcing. They said everybody should stop counting. And immediately they gave that declaration. That was when Mundubile came out. Because he was expecting that whatever they are transmitting from their hacked system is what will be announced quick. So that before you know it, they have won. And if you are declared winner, there is nothing anybody can do. But UPND government, the ECZ boss, that iron lady, Mama Zalumis, people of Zambia, you need to thank that woman. She stopped the counting and said, everybody stop. And the army commander, that is another savior of the people of Zambia. People of Zambia, you don't know what God has done for you. You see this Mrs. Zalumis and this army commander, anywhere you see them, buy a bottle of drink for them. This guy saved you. What came into Zambia, I'm telling you, you are not going to handle it. Zambia terrorists, Boko Haram came into Zambia. I'm telling you, something that was bigger than Boko Haram entered Zambia. Army commander moved in immediately and made sure that order was restored on the street. Order was restored in the polling station. And they now started recounting in most of the polling stations, discovering that numbers that were transmitted, that were coming into ECZ system, were totally fake. That is when ECZ told them, these numbers that you have transmitted, give us your PVT. Let us see exactly. They didn't provide any PVT. Not even one PVT. They now started making fake PVTs. At the United Nations did PVT. United Nations said, no, I didn't participate in the election. Are you seeing where we are going? Have you seen where all this confusion is coming from? No, they suspended the election so that they can rig. Rig what? You had already hacked the system. You had already carried the ballot paper. You had caused chaos in the country already. Just so that you can usurp power. Thank God for the army commander. Thank God for Mama ECZ, Mrs. Zalumis. Thank God because of their intervention. If not, Zambia was gone. A whole bishop was involved in terrorism. What is his name? Mundubile himself was involved in terrorism. Mundubile was caught in terrorism. I expected Mundubile to lose honorably. There was an advice given by Antonio Manzo to say, lose honorably. Let them give you whatever they give you. If you collect 30% from this election, I mean, look at how many members of parliament that you have. On top of that, you guys will nominate more. You can build from there and come back strong in 2031. But the way things are now, I mean, you may have 20 years in prison, 30 years in prison. That is the end of your life. That is the end of your political career. That's why you see those leaders now, they are leaving the country. And those immigration officers that are helping them to cross borders going into Zimbabwe, I can assure you that you are finished. Because we know you. All the borders in Zambia now have OP, Office of the President. That they know what is going on. Be careful. Don't fall a victim. Election is over. HH has won. By next week, people will come back to reality. Those people that call them Jerabo, that they used in Chingola, get ready. There will be total cleansing. And let me use the opportunity to tell you this. UPND will be in power for the next 50 years. Whether you like it or you don't like it, make peace with this. UPND will be in power for the next 50 years. The politics that you are seeing in Zambia has come to stay. I will leave it here.